The Baltimore City Health Department separated its staff by race for a series of equity trainings, leading to questions about the ethics and legality of segregated meetings.
Patrick Huff from our Spotlight on Maryland team has details.
They erred on the wrong side. You don't segregate people.
It's a waste of time and money.
I don't think this is what Thurgood Marshall or the pioneers of the civil rights era had in mind.
Spotlight on Maryland obtained documents in a public information request that revealed the Baltimore City Health Department spent roughly $50,000 taxpayer dollars from 2022 to 2024 for racial equity trainings provided by an organization called the People's Institute for Survival and Beyond, a group that one employee of the Baltimore City Office of Civil Rights described in an email as OG radical organizers. The People's Institute helped the Baltimore City Health Department establish segregated groups for its employees to discuss racial equity in health. The groups were labeled as the White Caucus and People of Color Caucus. One document from 2023 shows BCHD organized these meetings monthly and defined the White Caucus as a group of white people who meet for the purpose of building analysis, awareness, stamina, and strategy to challenge systemic racism and internalized white supremacy. White affinity groups allow us to examine our racial conditioning without relying on people of color for answers or subjecting them to our process. Meeting attendance was described as voluntary but highly recommended.
I grew up in East Baltimore. Segregation, I'm the last generation that really experienced segregation.
That's Pastor P.M. Smith, the Baltimore City native who preaches at Huber Memorial Church and as a lawyer practiced criminal law in Maryland. He said overcoming racial prejudice takes a group effort focused on individual responsibility.
And they assume that folk come in with these biases. Okay, fine. How can we change it if you continue to isolate and segregate yourself? Are we going backwards? No. You change it by bringing people in contact with each other.
I would have not comprised a training in such a manner.
That's Chad Lassiter, the executive director of the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission, which is the state's top civil rights enforcement agency. Lassiter said his approach to racial equity training is more collaborative and empathetic.
And what we do is we construct it in a way where it doesn't become divisive, where whites are not leaving there feeling beat up by white guilt, but also we're talking about accurate history as well.
Through Vignaraja, the former Maryland Deputy Attorney General, said the practice of segregated diversity meetings could face legal challenges.
The Supreme Court has always said that diversity is a valuable goal, whether it's in higher education or law school education. Those are valuable goals. But the Supreme Court has also said how you get to those goals matters. And you can't use methods like separating people into white rooms and people of color rooms.
We reached out to the Baltimore City Health Department with the following questions and did not receive a response despite moving our deadline more than a week. Why did BCHD decide to segregate into separate groups for white people and people of color for discussions about racial equity? Are these meetings and trainings ongoing? Vignaraja said the City Health Department owes taxpayers an answer.
You don't get to just separate people by color under the pretext of pursuing diversity and then stonewall when the public comes asking questions and expecting answers.
Emails show the White Caucus meeting continued into at least June 2025, with discussions of another payment to the People's Institute that year. One resource provided by the Baltimore City Health Department to leaders of the caucuses emphasized the benefits of separating groups by race, stating that working in multiracial groups is difficult, not because the group is difficult, but because white supremacy is a systemic sickness.
I think it has the potential to go off the rails.
Lassiter said the Baltimore City Health Department should ditch its segregated approach.
I think that it further divides us, and you run the risk in this moment because, we're seduced into divisions. And so this could further not just alienate people, but lead to a form of trauma as well.
A spokeswoman for the People's Institute defended its collaboration with the Baltimore City Health Department on the racial caucuses, what she referred to as affinity spaces, with claims they have been shown to increase employee engagement and retention. Research on affinity groups demonstrates that members feel more supported by colleagues after participating. These groups create opportunities to share ideas and offer feedback in smaller spaces, which then improves the quality of dialogue and problem solving across the department, the spokeswoman told us. We read the statement to Pastor Smith, who was unconvinced.
Does that make sense to you?
I don't even understand what you just said. But do you understand what you just said?
Not quite.
It's gook, man. It's nyah, nyah, nyah.
Lassiter similarly dismissed the statement.
I would caution against an affinity space that is trying to bring a message forth for really difficult conversations, to have it along the continuum of segregation.
For Spotlight on Maryland, I'm Patrick Huff.
I'm Kai Jackson. Thank you for watching. Here's another video to watch. Also, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel.